Hello everybody, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classics slash non-classics, where I review stuff both Marvel and DC, Marvel everything up to recent, and DC up until just before the New 52 relaunch. Like I've said before, I'm not doing any new 52 issues, I may do trade paperbacks. Today's thing is my first trade paperback on this show, where I'm going to review Nightwing, A Night in Bludhaven. Please excuse this little sticker on here. Yeah, I'm going to do another one too. Where I checked this out, I ordered this from the library. It's comes from out the county where I live. This book is the story is written by Chuck Dixon, and it's also Scott McNeil and Carl Story. I think they both do like the artwork and the inking. Now, the main tagline for this is murder, assault, robbery, kidnapping, not his town. This book collects the first 8 issues of Nightwing Volume 2, which is the very first Nightwing ongoing series. Not the one that currently is being published. This is the first one. Some might say, what about Volume 1? Volume 1 has been collected. That was in ties that bind. I've read the issues in there. They have the 4-issue miniseries that pretty much was like the launch pad for this. And it also has like a post Nightfall issue called Nightwing Alfred's Return, which Alfred resigned after events of Nightfall. Now you can see on the cover, you can see Dick Grayson as Robin. Now, pretty much in this thing, the story is basically Nightwing goes to Bludhaven, the city that makes his debut in the very first issue. He goes. It's basically just a setup for a series. It's really good. I can give you that much. The artwork is fantastic. Let's see. Give me a second here. Yeah, they have a brief thing. They show a picture of Batgirl, Starfire. Ooh, here's the very first page. This is probably from Nightwing #1, which I read before I read this. Yeah, Nightwing is in his costume that he wore up until it became Batman. Now, in this book, besides making a debut of the city and of course everything else, at least 3 issues in, they have the debut. Issue 4, they make debut of the very well-known Nightwing villain known as Lady Vic, who is in New 52. She is a reoccurring villain for the current Batwing, who is Luke Fox. I can get to that another time. This is about Nightwing pre-New 52. As you can see, it's blue, not red. And that's pretty much all they changed with his costumes. They made this red. And it made his whiteout of his mask red also. It's kind of an odd thing. X-Force did it too. Anyways, pretty much he just goes to the city because there's a series of murders that are happening in Gotham. And the murderer is from Bludhaven, and there's murders there that connect this. So Nightwing goes there, and the place is a mess. The almost entire police department is corrupt, except maybe a few small people. Pretty much it's worse than Gotham City when Batman first came around back. When he made his debut during the Year 1 story. Good story you should read. It's by Frank Miller. It's in trade form. This story came out from 1996 to 1998. Now, in issue 8, he does meet his main antagonist for the first 93 issues of issue 8. From this point, in the final issue of this thing, it makes its debut with the antagonist for Nightwing series up into issue 93. The character known as Blockbuster, who is the brother of the original Blockbuster. This is Ronald Desmond. The original was Mark Desmond. Mark Desmond is actually the Blockbuster in New 52. I have no problem with the character Blockbuster, and as far as I know, it's still pretty much the same design. He is insane. Well, he's really big, and plus he also has a heart problem because of his size, he's taking steroids. Lady Vic, there is a picture in here. Let's see if I can find it here. She's a lot different in Pre-New 52. They changed her outfit drastically. Oh yes, Black Mask does appear in this. Very briefly. He's only just in this one. It's just like one issue. chief of police. They mentioned in another graphic novel that they had the position of commissioner. Because of the widespread corruption, they removed the position of commissioner. Let's see if I can find it here. Let's see. There is Lady Vic. I found her, but I need to have a first full view costume. Here we go. This is where her costume looks like in Premium 52, because it shows her cleavage. The current New 52 costume does not show her cleavage at all. Please, hope to God this thing doesn't show. Now, my rating for this as a starting point is a 5 out of 5. This starts off the series. This is also the start of Chuck Dixon's run of the title. This title run goes issue 70. And that's where he ends it. He hands it off to Devin Grayson, then the writer. I don't remember who the writer was who replaced her. Yes, Devin Grayson is a woman. Then it was Marv Wolfman. Then, briefly was a writer who wrote for a couple issues. There was a tie-in to Resurrection of Ra's al Ghul. And then finally, the final writer is the current writer of Batman and Peter Tomasi. I have read the Peter Tomasi run and Marv Wolfman's run. A bit of Devin Grayson's run and all of their stuff. Now, he does not start work for the police department, not just yet. He does set up residence. He does stay in Bludhaven because of all the corruption. He does, later on in the series, he does clean up all the corruption in Bludhaven, and there was a staff shortage. Now, when Blockbuster first came around in Bludhaven, he took over. At the start of the series, Blockbuster is not in charge of the crime. Is not in charge of the underworld. He's not the head. Not yet. He kills another gangster, Angel Malone, I think his name is. He kills him, hides his body, of course, later gets severed. He becomes the head of the, underground. Just 1 second. Excuse me. Now, he does die in issue 93. I have not read the issue, but I know he dies in issue 93. He comes back as a Black Lantern, Blackest Night. Penguin, for some odd reason, somehow takes his corpse from the morgue and makes people believe he's still very much alive despite the fact he got shot in the head. And he takes him to a taxidermist. That's right. He takes the body of a supervillain and has him stuffed. And he wants to become the new crime lord of Bludhaven because he couldn't do in Gotham City because Black Mask beat him to it. Yes, Black Mask beat him to it. The artwork is stunning in this. With the exception of issue 93, and Brothers in Blood, there really isn't that many bad Nightwing stories.
Nick, honey, can you get the bag with the turkeys?
Okay.
Cuties, please.
All right. Now, pretty much...
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm also recording. Despite the fact the story's not out for a decade, and of course, trade paperbacks are hard to come by these days, you can probably find it on Amazon for, I don't know, maybe $10, $15. And that's it. Stay tuned for the next episode.